Read
Junk.
ReadJunk.
ReadJunk
Podcast.
ReadJunk Podcast with your host, my guy.
What's up, everybody? It's the ReadJunk Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Kremko. We're back with a brand new episode. In this episode, I talk with Matt from the Planet Smashers and Stomp Records. The band is celebrating 25 years, so I figured I would chat with Matt. I thought I interviewed him back in my ska punk and other junk days, but I guess I don't think I did. I was looking on the search on the site, and I just couldn't find anything that we had an interview with him. But I thought I had something like that. But anyway. The band also has a brand new album coming out on May 10th called Too Much Information, and it's just another great release for them. I listened to it a few times, and it's just a solid album. The band's very consistent with the ska. In this episode, Matt and I talk about the new album, the early days of the band, the Canadian ska scene, Stomp Records, a little bit of hockey, of course. Plus, we talk about some of the Planet Smashers songs and music videos. It was a great chat, so have a listen. Towards the end, Skype was a little acting a little strange, so I apologize about that. It was like some feedback, but you can still make out what's going on and what's being discussed. So here's my chat with Matt from Planet Smashers. Enjoy. So how's the weather up there, man?
It's not great, man. Maybe, I don't know.
Was it snowing?
It almost did. I mean, like, they're threatening snow, but I think, we're going to be okay. Right now it's kind of a little bit of blue. I'd say it's, 8 degrees Celsius? So we're talking like, what?
I don't know.
48?
Oh.
46?
Okay, so it's similar to maybe it's a little warmer down here. I'm in New Jersey right now, so it's...
Yeah,
but I guess it was snowing up in upstate New York the other day. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, they're saying there might be a little bit coming in on next week, early next week. The icon in the weather app,
yeah,
it's got like the sun, a cloud, rain, thunder, and snow. I've never seen all five.
So it's just like all of the above.
They're just like, I don't know.
Yeah. So welcome to the ReadJunk Podcast.
Right on.
Yeah. So I've talked to you before at shows. I was looking up, and the last time I saw you guys was in 2004, like June in Knitting Factory. So it's been a while. And
that was fun. I think when the first song started, we were like, here we go, let's get him. And we ran out, and our saxophone player tripped on the monitor and fell down in front of everybody. And we're like,
I don't even remember that. Yeah, but I remember it was really hot because it was in June, and it was like the Knitting Factory had upper level, so I was at the upper level part, and my glasses were all fogging up, and I had the Aquabats and then Lederhosen something. Oh,
Lucille. So it was different. It wasn't Ska's Dead. It was Aquabats. Yeah, that was good. We did fine on that one. No one tripped.
But was that the last time you were in New York? It might be. I mean, it was either that or one was Ska's Dead.
We played Jersey a couple times since then at a place that had I think it fell apart. We played with Bigwig in a Jersey club once.
Okay.
A little while ago. Well, not a little while ago, like 2007 maybe. And the floor fell down. I remember that. Tom from Bigwig fell through the floor. It's kind of funny. When he gets angry, though, man, look out. Guy knows crying shit.
Yeah, so it's been a while. I feel like I've only seen you I've only seen you guys a few times, but every time it's been excellent. And just kind of wish you'd come down. It's only 5 or 6 hour drive, right?
Yeah, we had a little bit of some issues with the border.
Were you banned?
The border. Yeah, so I mean, we're still working on that. One guy still can't get in.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, he's kind of an important guy.
Well, I guess it explains some things. Especially, it's probably harder to get into the country nowadays.
It is.
Just for any country, I guess. But so you're celebrating your 25th anniversary with the band. So it's you guys are my website and stuff. I've been doing this for 22 years. So you guys beat me by a couple of years, but I've been a fan since the first album. So it's
right on.
Yeah. So your new album's Too Much Information. It's the 9th full length.
Crap. It is the 9th.
Yeah. So I mean, how long? What was the recording process, and how long did it take?
I mean, we had the plan was to have this out 2 years ago. It was supposed to come out in 2017, but then we just sort of, people sort of did this and that, and it's like more shows coming, and then we just kept on doing that, and then eventually, I'm just going to close my
no problem.
Couple apps here so we don't have any more dings. So like we kept on sort of putting it off. We had more shows that came in, and then people got busy. Eventually, I was like, okay, look, guys, I'm booking studio time. Like, we don't have anything written. I'm like, I'm booking studio time. We're going. Here we go. So I did that, and then last summer, we just we met once a week, every week for like, I guess 10, 12 weeks in a row.
So you guys all live like in close proximity, right?
Yeah, close enough. I mean, like some rehearsals, someone wouldn't be there, but in general, there'd be enough to do stuff. And we had some other like little sessions where we just be help with the lyric sessions. Not that our lyrics are very deep or anything, but we still need help. It's a process. It's like we're all humble people, and no one feels overly confident with anything they create. So having that kind of self-assurance is kind of nice. The process that's kind of happened. We hit the studio. We're in there for 2 weeks. I had Lyme disease during the recording. I didn't know at the time, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't feel good. I thought I was getting old because I'm not, and I thought I was getting old. And I was holding my guitar, like, when did this guitar get so heavy? Because I'm just dying from Lyme disease. And it was only like the beginning of it. I found out right after, and I got treated, and it's all gone. Like, it's people that get Lyme disease would laugh at my version of it because it was only for like 3 days. So
yeah, I've gotten bitten, but I don't think I had like a mild case. My wife got it on our honeymoon. We didn't discover this until like we were in Paris.
Oh man, did you get her antibiotics? And
yeah, so we tried out the French healthcare system, and like
good.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us some like really powerful stuff, but she was afraid to take it. So it's like, all right, I mean, so. But they didn't tell her she had Lyme disease there. So it was when we found out when we got back. But it was but yeah,
you feel like crud.
Yeah, so it does. I found it in my armpit, like
Whoa.
ticks and stuff. Yeah, it's just gross. Anyway, took a left turn pretty quickly. So the title of the album is Too Much Information. Was the title something about like there's just so much info out there on the world, or is it about everyone oversharing too much information? Or?
I mean, it's a bit about both. I mean, when it comes down to it, I like to pretend that it's about, there's just too much information these days. There's too much noise, and we really got to get back to the basics. No, it's really just about someone telling me more than I wanted to know about something, and I'm like,
I took a shit this morning. Yeah.
And my mother-in-law, she's always like, TMI. So I was like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah. It's fitting for this age, everyone oversharing on social media and stuff. So, I've listened to the album for a few times already, and I think it's very consistent. Like you guys are one of the most consistent ska bands, I think. Every album, this is like, these guys, you're very reliable with putting good music out. So it's
good, man.
Yeah.
Right, thanks. Appreciate it.
I'm trying to think. There was a few songs I liked on it. I mean, the single was good, Can't Stop, which you had the same title for, and Mighty,
yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mentioned to Mike, I was like, should we call it something else? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, fine.
Was there anything
for the band to have 2 songs with the same name?
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. Was there anything did you do differently than previous albums, or? Well,
I mean, the process was it was a little different because the horns came in. At times, there was more rhythm section rehearsals, and having a keyboard player in the band. Like, we were a 5-piece for the first 8 albums. We always had keys on stuff, but we never had a guy who was actually in the band. And Patricia has been playing with us for 4 years. So we're like, why don't we just add that element, and we can have some different instrumentation that's there all the time, even when we play live. So we didn't have to rely on that, which is good. It was nice. It brought in a little breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I think ever since you added the keys, I think it's added another dynamic or whatever to the band. Yeah, it's like My Obsession's like one of my favorite songs.
Cool.
Just because I like the keyboards on it. Yeah. So has the lineup changed over the years, or has it been kind of like, so many members? So I mean, you're pretty much are you the only original member?
No, Dave is too, but he's the guy who can't get into America. So
right, okay.
That's just Scott's been in the band since 2002, so
Yeah.
It's not like the rotating door hasn't been that, and the other guys have been 2011. So I mean, everyone's been in for quite a bit of time now. Actually, when you think of it that way, this is Al's third record. Alex, our saxophone player. It's Pat Taylor's second. He joined right after our trombone player left for a real career in music. He's really good. And so is Pat. But and then Patrizio, our keyboard player, he was playing in other bands, and he was just always sort of around and kind of just weaseled his way into the band. It's like, oh, can I be in the band now? We're like, oh, aren't you already? Sure. So yeah, that happened.
Yeah. Cool. So do you remember like the early days of the band? I mean, probably you do, but like, I mean, so how was it like compared to now, like as far as like show attendance and like crowd sizes?
Well, I mean, from when we started, the first, I'd say 3 years was pretty tough. Not a lot of people gave a crap. Yeah. And we weren't going to the States, and we're kind of outside of the ska boom that happened in America. We weren't on Moon. We started on record label, for better or worse. That kept us kind of insulated, or there's a bit of a wall to get through. I mean, once Life of the Party came out, and we started touring the States a bit more. Things changed. Buck back at Moon, he helped us out a lot back in the day.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
And then when Life of the Party came out, that was '99. That's 5 years into the band. Things changed up here. That album did really well. If it came out, like, we sold a lot of records back then. I mean, it was easy, and now it's like really hard to keep 1,000. Like, we did great. There's a lot of attention for ska music in Canada, and they were looking for a band to represent, the Canadian scene internationally. So timing was pretty good. It was really exciting. We took things very seriously, at times a little too seriously. Like, it'd be, after a late night show, if someone played badly, there'd be words, and then, someone would put someone. It's like, what? This is ska, dumb band, party, free beer. You pull back a bit, you look at things, and you kind of like around 2001, we started going, okay, let's just have fun with this and see where it goes. And that really changed. That really helped. Mighty came out. We started touring with Big D and Catch and Mustard Plug, did the Scott's Dead tours, got on the Acrobats tour, did some Suicide Machines, did tons of Warped Tour. That was a really busy time from, I'd say, about 2002 until 2007. We were on the road all the time.
That's funny because that was kind of like the downtime for ska.
Yeah, we kind of got in there right when things were dying. But in a way, it kind of helped us because, people were sort of looking for something a little different, a little fresh, and that worked for us. And like I said, Canada was out of that group. Japan was just starting to happen. We got right up time for that. And Europe we had already established Europe for us, so we were going pretty good there.
Yeah, it seems like Japan and like Europe definitely kept the scene alive, like the ska music alive. Yeah. So I mean, going back to like the early days, like how did you guys promote shows? Like just putting flyers all over the place and like trying to go on radio shows or something like that.
Yeah. Like terrestrial radio. We never used the word terrestrial radio back then. It was huge. Everything was radio. Oh my God, we're doing the local college radio stations to be broadcast to like over 500 people. What? Handbills.
That was
we
one
used
of them,
to glue. We used to cut things out of magazines to make our show posters. I mean, like, that's what you did, and you glue it on. And, oh, man, making album artwork, you were taking pictures of stuff. It was, like, on, like, acetate and stuff. It was really different time.
I liked, I mean, that's definitely, I'm an artist, so I'm, like, for that punk cutting out flyer kind of mentality. That's, like, I still design that way, but now I just do it in Photoshop, but not having to cut and paste. Did you guys do like all your own shirts and all that, like print out, or did you have that sent out?
Yeah, we're a bit of both. Like it's a combination. Like we have one of our help out guys, like a designer outside. He's in another band, so it's kind of like, oh wow, we like your merch. Can you do some for us? Type thing, Yeah. And we kind of try to mix it up. The other guy that did most of the artwork for Too Much Information, his name's Rupert Battenberg. He works for something in Montreal called En Masse, which is a really cool street sort of painting. I mean, they do tons of stuff like art installation, independent art installation. Really cool. If you check up En Masse, man, that's really, you'd be like, that's dope. So that's why we worked with him. He did way back when he was just starting out. He did our second record, Attack of the Smashers, and he built like a little spaceship.
I remember the artwork. Yeah.
that was a long time ago. But the new one is all him, and he came up with most of those ideas. We kind of just wound him up and let him go, and he put it through the hoop.
Oh, so he did the same artwork as Attack as the new one?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the new artwork, yeah. So, I mean, going back to you, from your perspective, like, how did the Canadian ska scene develop? Because it, who were, what their first ones? Was it Chris Murray and King Apparatus, pretty much?
King Apparatus, and King Apparatus was early 90s, and they were a big thing in Toronto. Toronto was way ahead of the rest of, they had their little ska boom in early 90s. So, we're talking like 91, 92 before, Fat Records even existed, before, Moon, I think, might have started by then. I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't recall.
But that song from Chris Murray's album, King Apparatus, the first one, Made for TV, it was on all the major commercial radio stations.
No. In Canada, right?
It was huge. Yeah, I think it went gold in Canada. In Canada.
Yeah.
In Canada. And it didn't get into Quebec so much because it was Anglophone. But here we had a band called Me, Mom, and Morgenthaler. Dr. Henry Morgenthaler was an he was against abortion. Sorry, he was a pro-abortion doctor. He would illegally give people abortions if they needed them back in the day, and that was a pretty big thing back then. So they went on that play, and they were pretty politically involved in the scene. They got pretty big. One guy joined the Kingpins from Montreal. They still play music a lot. Good guys.
Yeah.
So we had bands like that, and then that kind of spurred, spawned what I would call the ska rising in Canada. The ska rising, which was when Smashers and Kingpins and about 30 other ska bands just popped up across the country, primarily because of 1995. We had that's when What Come the Wolves came out, right. And the scene kind of changed. Offspring's going really big, and Boston's are starting to cook. The things are starting to happen there, and then the California ska wave kind of just swept across, and these bands all of a sudden had a chance to play. You could use the term ska tour, and the venues would be packed. They don't know who the fuck these people are, what these are, and you would be fine. We did Stomp Records started with a compilation, like many labels did back then. It's called the All Canadian Club.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
I thought at first it was going to be a 7-inch. I think there's probably 4 bands in Canada playing ska. I bet there's 4. And I remember this is before your internet, so I was just like, "Hey, old buddy from high school who lives in Vancouver, do you know if there's any ska bands in your town? If they are, can you go to a show and tell them to phone me?" And that's how it started. And all of a sudden we had, I think there were 16 ska bands, and I think there's 16 tracks on that thing. I didn't no quality control. Just put them all on.
Yeah, that's kind of hard. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in that position. Like, yeah.
Well, I got to be honest. That's probably the biggest reason why the ska boom came and went so fast, is because there was no quality control. Everyone was just pumping ska. It didn't matter what it was. Moon was putting out so many different albums.
Yeah, it was like there was Moon and then Ska Satellite, and then I mean, you guys, were you officially on Moon, or was it a joint kind of thing of you and Stomp? Or
what happened is Moon got our pressing rights and distribution rights in America. They just took it all over, and they just started releasing everything we put out.
I guess that's probably how I found out about you guys. I guess, or it was either that, or it was a compilation of like Scanner Key 2 or something like that. Yeah.
Scanner Key. What was that guy's name?
Elevator Music.
Elevator Music. The New London. What was the club called? I can't remember. He did all his shows there.
Was it LNG or
LNG?
Yeah,
I think it's LNG. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was P in the Elevator. I think was on that.
Yeah.
Hey, it got me to like you guys.
That song haunts us ever since. I mean, we'll play it, but when we have to do a live, we have to play it almost every night, and we're always like, okay, here we go. One more time.
Yeah, I'm sure there's at least one or two songs that every band just doesn't want to play. I'm sure use ME330 have stuff's kind of a little bit outdated, and
I get
Sergeant Scagnetti, Necromance, and
I mean, I don't know. If I wrote Mr. Smiley, I'd want to play it every night, though.
That's my favorite time of their set, because Dave's always bringing out the knife, so I'm just taking pictures of it. So it's great, and he's always spitting out water. But going back about for Stomp Records, I'm like, so did you? Did you start it to like just release your own stuff pretty much then, or it was through the compilation / your own stuff?
We tried to get signed to the same label that put out King Apparatus back in the day. We're like,
Okay.
oh man, it was called Raw Energy from Toronto, and we thought they'd totally dig our super crappy cassette that we made, and surprisingly, they did not. We did not know what we were doing. We were so bad. So then we're like, fine, we'll put it ourselves. We'll figure this out. And luckily, the Kingpins in Montreal were doing the exact same thing. They're like, well, how are we putting out our stuff? So that's just how it happened. You know, there was two bands trying to do the same thing, and we became friends in the scene, although we were very, very competitive with each other. It just sort of came out of that sort of cesspool of mediocrity.
I don't know. I think you guys are doing all right. I mean, when I think of Canadian ska, I think of Planet Smashers, but I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but
Well, I think everyone does. I mean, now I'm like, yes, we're the best known Canadian ska band.
I keep forgetting Chris Murray though. He lives like in California all over the place. So I forget that he's Canadian.
He pretends he's not. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea. We're actually playing with him this weekend. It'll be the first time in years since I've played with him, so it'll be great.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, I like our band. You know, we always try to have fun, and we never try to take ourselves too seriously, because that's when you start leading to. I find, you know, you'll just start feeling like hard done by, and you know, where's my big piece of pie and stuff like that. You know, You get what you get, and make it work. If you get lucky, good on you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's ska music. You're not in it for the bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
So going about Stomp Records, so did you just start doing it full time, or like how did that get into?
I mean, I was in school studying engineering. I got one degree, and then I wanted to not get a job, so I did a master's so I could do Stomp at the same time. And then I got that degree, and then I was like, okay, I don't want to get a job yet, so I'm going to do a PhD. I was 2 years into a PhD when things started working with Life of the Party in 1999. I was like, okay, I'm out. So I quit that, and Stomp was a hobby that became a job that was supposed to be a hobby. I still feel like it's a hobby. I occasionally try to write a CV thinking I'm going to get a real job, but luckily I haven't yet.
Well, you got experience, you know, handling some employees and bands and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure you can get a job if you wanted to.
Probably somewhere, you know, someone will take me, right?
Telemarketer, yeah, no.
Yeah, I could sell
it. So how did Stomp Records survive the era of like illegal downloading and things like that?
We had, like, right in 98. Okay, so you had Offspring and Rancid getting super huge in 95, 96. There was a company in Canada called Cargo Records. They had the rights to these records, and they thought the rest of independent music was going to be like this forever. So they just started spending super big amounts of money, and it didn't happen. That little pop in independence kind of fizzled out, and they went belly up. And that's when we got Mike McGee. He was walking down the street. His first day at the job, he skateboarded to work. He wiped out, came in bleeding. And then about 15 minutes later, this crazy Ted came in and beat the shit out of my partner at the time because he believed that my partner stole his gang's slogan and put it on a Kingpin shirt. It was something like, all together for one. I'm like, that can't be. You and we had a brand new computer. We just got it that day. It was a Mac. And all I remember was jumping on this guy's back, trying to pull him off. Jordan at the time screaming, "Don't hit the computer! Don't hit the computer!" And Mike McGee's like, "What the fuck is this?" That's his first day. Anyway, after that, things calmed down, and
I would hope.
And Mike was really smart. He saw what happened with Cargo, and we saw what happened with Moon, and that was just before High Speed kicked in, and he was ahead of the curve. He got us going with digital distribution from the very beginning. We just shortened all of our orders. We stopped focusing on the genre and started pushing bands, which is something Brett from Moon told us to do. And I don't know if he knows it, but we listened to him at the time. And we started working with different kinds of, like Stomp Records kept on focusing on ska and reggae and all its hyphenations. And we started a couple other labels at the same time. We started a punk label. We started an oi label. We started a mod label. Some didn't work.
So, I mean, was that like the birth of Union Label Group, or was that Union kind of took you guys over or something, or how did that work?
We started Union Label Group. We pretended it was this merger between a local punk rock label called 2112 Records, but really the guy was just like, I don't want to run this anymore. Do you want it?
Okay.
And it had some great bands on it, including a band called Reset that went on to become Simple Plan. So, interesting enough. And had some other good bands. So we started signing other bands to Union, like Belvedere was on Union. I don't know if you heard of them.
Yep.
They skate punk, really good skate punk band. Flatliners were sort of on both.
Yeah, they're huge now. Yeah.
Because
they were on Fat, and then now they're on somewhere else.
Rise, I think. I can't remember.
One of those.
But I don't know what they're doing now. And other bands. Bedouin Soundclash was on Stomp. Then we gave it to Side One Dummy. Oops. I don't really know how that happened. So we've had some, like what I say, we did some different things back then. The idea was we saw what Fat did and we saw what Moon did, and they were branding music through the record label, and they were effectively, people would just go buy music from that label without even knowing anything about it. So we're like, well, let's try that. And we tried it for a while, and then we're kind of like, well, this is kind of stupid. Everyone could just check, you can stream it now. What's the point? Let's just put it all under Stomp. So now we're back to one little happy Stomp family. We got punk, we got ska, we got rockabilly, we got a little bit of pop, and a little bit of everything.
Yeah, like the Brains.
Yeah, great band.
Yeah. So what are some other like recent releases that just came out? I think K-Man in the 45s. I think
that's K-Man came out just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But we don't have that much ska on the label anymore. So K-Man's one of them. We got them. We got Smashers earlier on. Nothing. We had Gutter Demons in the fall of last year. It's a psychobilly band. We did recently last year. I think we did. Oh boy, about 8 albums, of which I think one was ska with Joystick coming out from New Orleans. It's a cool little skate.
Ska. Joystick. Yeah, right. Okay, I've heard of them. Yeah. Got to get some Celtic punk or something like this. That's all the rage these days.
We got Real Mackenzies up here.
Oh, right.
And we also have working with a young band called the Peelers. I don't know where that's going. We'll see. The Peelers, yeah. Good band. We got quite a bit of rockabilly still. We got Creep Show up here. We manage them as well. Brains, Ray Gun Cowboys, outstanding band with horns. They're really fun. From Edmonton, and we got a bunch of some cool bands like the Real Sickies. We just signed them today. Cool.
Breaking news.
Real Sickies from Edmonton signed to Stomp. Leather Jacket, punk rock. They're good. Isotopes. Got the Dreadnoughts, are sort of a Celtic.
I like that. Yeah, the first album. I like the polka-ness of it. I liked those songs.
Man, those guys could have been huge. Well, they are huge in Europe, and in Canada they still do very well. But they could have
West Coast, right? What, like Vancouver or something? Okay.
They could have done so well in America, but they just when they got to the point where it's like, do we continue as a serious band or go do our careers? They decided to go do their careers. So
yeah,
what can
you do?
But they're going to work on a new record, and they're still touring. They're still playing. They're playing more and more, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I think they just released one a year or two ago. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not on your label though, right?
No, they did it on their own. We still work with them. We're still their booking agent for Canada.
Okay.
And we still have the old records, and we're in talks for the next 2. But we'll see if we were in talks for the last one as well, but they decided not to go with us. So we're trying to get the next 2. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, but we'll see.
If you do the albums, tell them to push the polka angle, because there's not really like polka punk bands. Like
there's not many.
Yeah, not many.
But I can't really tell Nick to do anything. He's a free spirit, and that's part of the awesomeness of that band.
Yeah.
There you go.
Switching back to not polka.
Oh yeah.
So like, how did you get into ska and like punk music? Like, was it someone that you knew, like family member?
Yes.
Yeah.
My older brother went to Liverpool in probably like 79. He's a bit older. He went as a prep. He was like a preppy kid with like polo shirts with the collar up type thing. came back a mod. Actually, came back a two-tone, a Rude Boy.
Okay.
Rude Boy mixed with a bit of mod, and his both front teeth knocked out.
Oh.
It was a 2-week exchange. He was in grade 9.
It went that well.
Hey, with the shaved head, not a skinhead, but like short, like mod cut. And he took my ELO record, which I had at the time because I was into ELO. Don't Bring Me Down. Woo-hoo! That one. I don't know if you remember that. It's pretty vague. I don't remember that for that. And he put a firecracker in it, and it was vinyl. And he lit it, and he threw it up, and it blew up, and I cried. And he said, listen to this. And it would just happen to be One Step Beyond by Madness.
Nice.
And for that, I was a slave to ska, which is good. I love it.
So what was your first like live ska experience? Because that was what changed me, was seeing like Let's Go Bowling, and it was Chris Murray actually. It was what the first ska show that I saw in '96.
The one that really hit me hard, believe it or not, was the Let's Go Bowling King Apparatus tour. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
It came through town, and it was 93 or 4.
Okay.
And they played a little crappy bar in Montreal. I think it's called the Terminal. It maybe fit 150 people. It was pretty full. And I remember Chris Murray had to get up. The place was going crazy, and this one semi-neo-Nazi, I guess, was being a dick and doing some Heil Hitlers or something. And Chris Murray jumped on the chair and had the microphone ready to whack, like the stand. He was like, if you got to get out. You got to leave or you're going. And then the Let's Go Bowling guys found out, and they were like coming in on the guy. I'm in the back going, huh, I like it. I'm music, And that's when we kind of formed the band at that show. That was the day when we should make a band. This is way more fun than playing garage rock. No disrespect to garage rock, but it was much more fun.
Get to be peppy and happy and sing about beer and hockey and
There it is. Beer, hockey. Beer, hockey, beer. Huh.
Hockey playoffs. Oh, are you watching them?
Oh, all the Canadian teams slaughtered. I hate the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, I'm not a fan with them. I'm not a fan either. I'm like rooting for like Dallas because the Rangers have like investment.
Yep.
If they picks and things like that. They actually, the hockey gods finally gave them a second round pick, which they've never had ever. So I'm like, finally gonna get someone good. I like Canadians. So you're a Canadians fan, right? So it's probably.
I like the Canadians. I like the Leafs. Believe it or not, there are a lot of Montreal people who do not understand how that's possible, but I like them.
I mean, I rooted for the Habs back when Denny Savard, and when they won the cup, I was kind of rooting for him. Then I think I still have a Canadians jersey actually, but
right on.
Yeah,
the team's going to be exciting. They're young. They've got a problem though. They have all these good young prospects, but they don't have a star. And if one of them can become one, then they're going to be a good team. But normally that doesn't happen. There's not so many of that. Normally it's not going to happen. But we'll see. They can't trade for a first line center. It's not going to happen. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'll talk hockey. It's fine.
Yeah, I can get in there.
Well, you mentioned Nazi skinheads. I was going to ask, like, did you have troubles early on with shows? Like, was it an issue up in Canada as much as it was down here?
It was bad. I mean, like I'd say the first 4 years, there was a lot of stuff going on. I mean, back then too, I was younger. I was more in the bars and stuff, and there would be many times we'd just be hanging out with the rude boys, or the faux rude boys, and the new Nazis would come running into the bar and start swinging axes, not axes, but like hammers and stuff.
Oh shit!
And it was really violent. There was a lot of times when people got hurt. I remember. There was one time, it was actually Rupert, the guy that did the new artwork with 2 Inch and I were at the bar, and we're talking to a couple girls, and it's sort of this tight little area where the bar kind of, there's a wall right behind us. So it's the bar stools and the bathrooms behind us. And the brawl starts out. It's just another brawl. This is great. Another big brawl happening up front. And this fight's going on, and they're kind of like ending right at Rupert, and Rupert started bouncing up, and he's holding his beer over on the counter trying to like talk to the 2 girls that were trying to impress. Had this massive bar brawls going on. I'm like, really, guys? We're trying to, Lame. They left, the girls.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess they didn't want to get hit with beer bottles and whatever else they were swinging around. Yeah,
that's the story.
I mean, have you noticed, like, when did you notice like the change in like violence from shows? Because it seemed like just when I started going to shows, there was like brawls outside with skinheads and other people, and then it kind of gradually just stopped.
I mean, for us, '99, things just stopped.
Yeah,
it just went away. I don't know what happened. We had anti-racist action was a really big movement up here.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't really kind of resurged from all the shit that's been going on lately. But
it'd be nice. But I mean, it was a different time, you know. Like the neo-Nazis, they lived in little pockets here and there, and you could find out where they lived pretty easily. And
yeah,
they just want to be hassled like that, you know. And they didn't have the reach that they have now. They couldn't reach other neo-Nazis effectively, and now that's pretty easy to do. And so basically, we beat them out of town. That's what happened.
It's the way to do it.
I got jumped only once by 4 guys. I was wearing an ARA shirt, and I was getting poutine in 1996. I walked out, and there was snow everywhere, and I had those big army parade boots on. There's no traction on, no treads.
Yeah.
And all I was like, I couldn't like stay up because they were just like, I was all over the ice. My feet were going all over the place as these 2 guys were grabbing me, and then the third big guy came in. And I remember going down and thinking like, it doesn't hurt as much as I thought it would, as they're kicking me right in the head. Oh. It was a rough night. It actually messed me up for a little while, but you know, if it wasn't for that an ambulance and a taxi came flying in and kind of broke it up for me. So it would have been worse for me.
Oh, switching gears. So one of the times I saw you was at the New England Ska Fest in 1998. Do you have any memories? It was 21 years ago, so it's kind of hard.
I mean, that was kind of our introduction to being involved with Moon. That was really kind of like, we're sort of like, whoa, America. Yeah. And I remember like, this is crazy. This is insane. We're doing this, you know? And we hadn't played many outdoor shows by then. I think Warped was in its, I don't know, maybe
it was like the second or third year, yeah.
Third year, yeah. We played one of those up in Canada. So this is kind of like our second outdoor festival show ever. Independent music was really heating up. I mean, people were really into it. You know, it's not majors still controlled everything, and all of a sudden there's these little cracks forming as the independents kind of just decided to go a different way, and people were into it. So it was great. I love that.
Yeah, I remember getting there, and then Bad Manners were supposed to play, and then Hepcat ended up headlining instead. Yeah, I
remember Hepcat. I think Mephistopheles played.
Meth.
I think.
Yeah. Skavoovie.
Skavoovie, yeah.
Dropkick Murphys did.
No way.
Yeah.
They were on that?
Yeah, because I have pictures of it. So it's
holy cow.
That was with Al was singing, and yeah, it was most of the. It was right after. Yeah, it was like it might have been the first time when Al was played. It was like a different lineup, but yeah, they played very early on because it's like them and what's the rockabilly band that the Boston's always played with? Oh, the Amazing Crowns.
Yeah, the Amazing Crowns. I remember them too. Holy cow, that's a while ago.
Yeah, I have all these photos, so it's like good thing I did that all these years ago, taking pictures of shows from my memory.
Yeah, I'm in the stock warehouse, what do you want to call it, room here at Stomp, which is being redone because CDs are much smaller than vinyl, and we have a lot of vinyl now, so we got to put all these new shelves in. But in this process, Mike dug up a massive box of photos from like the late 90s era, and I haven't gone through it yet, but I bet there's some gems in there. There's probably one of me hanging out watching the Bosstones or something, you know, like in 95.
Hey, just start posting it on your Instagram and stuff for Planet
Doing
pictures. Yeah, I mean, it's
kind of talking about something.
People eat that shit up.
Shut up. No, right
on. You guys just released a new music video for Can't Stop. Do you have another one coming out soon? That was like
it's coming out on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Too Much Information comes out on Friday, and then we have a third one for Break Your Neck, or Break My Neck, not your neck. Sorry, Break My Neck. Then we're gonna have a fourth for which Break My Neck's already been shot. It's being edited now, and then we're doing a fourth, a super cheap one for Brain Freeze, which is about getting a brain freeze. I think we're gonna situate this one at an ice cream store.
Hey, it works. Everyone can relate to it.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
But I mean, the one video that I like was Hippopotamus, because I did so many animated GIFs for that one, just of you dancing and other people just dancing. It was just so goofy and silly. That's
our drummer that did that. He made that one. It's so funny. It's so him. I'm like, it's like we're on an acid trip. He's like, yep, that's me.
And then Tear It Up was a good one too. You guys were doing like the roller derby stuff.
Yeah, that was more Dave, our bass player. He's got this nerd sense of humor where he just says, he's like, we're going to wear tight little red shorts and big red socks and be on roller skates. He fell at that video shoot. He was eating a piece of pizza and having a Pepsi. It's like going like this. And he's like eating at the same time on his roller skate. He fell straight back. He had a horrible back then. I remember hitting flat hard. I was like, oh man, the video's done. He's like, oh my God, I feel great. Didn't like hurt him. His head was okay. And somehow it cracked something in his back that released something. And he was great after that.
I have bad back problems. I should do that.
Pepsi, pizza, fall backwards really hard, have a helmet on. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Do you think music videos are like easier to do now than they were back then? They're a lot cheaper.
Yeah. It's so much cheaper. So is recording. I mean, like, and the need to have high-end quality production isn't really there anymore. I mean, you're not competing against 20 videos or whatever, 200 videos for 4 slots on the local music network, video network. You know, you're not, that competition's over. Now it's, your video is going to get viewed. How many? Really depends on how much you're going to give to Google. You know, that's really what it comes down to.
What was the music station in Canada? Was it Much Music?
Yep, we had Much Music. In Quebec, we had Music Plus. And Music Plus, they broke, what the hell? NSYNC. They broke NSYNC up here.
Oh, okay.
They were like the reason why, not the reason, but they broke NSYNC. They were huge up here before they got big in America.
What happened to Much Music? Did they like? I feel like MTV or like Madison Square Garden or somebody bought them or
something happened. MTV Canada opened, and then that was the first one actually to kind of falter and just become reruns of weird TV shows. And then Much Music kind of did the same thing. And by then, you know, it's just a matter of time. I mean, like, YouTube's been going on for a few years already. Yeah. No one's watching the shows. No one cares. Everyone can see it on YouTube on demand. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's sad because it used to like tape. Like,
it
used to be 120 minutes on MTV with Matt Pinfield, and then so that would record a VCR and then stay up till 1 o'clock to watch it. You know, all like the ska videos and stuff. Yeah, but now because it's like, oh, premiering this episode right now on YouTube. It's like, okay, great.
It's the same thing, you know. Record shopping is not the same as it used to be. I remember going to the video networks, and it would be so exciting. It'd be like, oh my gosh, we're in the same hallway as that VJ is, or whatever, you know, like, holy crap, what's happening? I can go use the toilet. Just being so excited about those types of things. Those are gone now. So things are just different. They're better in a lot of ways. And with, I guess you could say, the arrival of and acceptance of streaming, legal streaming. Yeah. No one wants to download. No one wants to rip stuff for free anymore. It's a pain in the ass to have that on your phone or on your computer, you know, or just clugging everything up.
I got like the 256 gig or whatever iPhone because I still want it, but I still have Spotify too. So it's
I got a bunch on there, but I mean now, you know, with so many of those, I mean, with Apple Music, you can just download it to your phone. It's there if you want it. Yeah. The need to, like, someone now. Anyway, long story short, I think back in the day, it was probably like 19 out of 20 people were stealing music, and now it's probably 19 out of 20 are streaming it legally. So I mean, we'll see if it uprights the sinking ship of music. Yeah. It has already. I think you know the death of downloading is going to slightly beat the actual death of CD. Sorry, the CD is going to last just a little bit longer because we still got them in all those cars, man.
I don't think some of the newer cars don't really have CD players. It's like they have the USB. So some people are releasing the USB drives, I guess, now instead. But
yeah, I mean, okay, I got a Toyota minivan for the family.
Yeah. I got
And
the
it still
Honda
has a CD player.
CRV for my family. Yeah.
And it still has a CD player in it. I don't think it's been used yet. Maybe it's broken. Maybe it's nothing there. Maybe it's just a fake little hole. It's really just for storing a CD. Um,
Well, actually, no, I do have a CD player, but I use it as I use a data CD. So when I don't have my phone with me, I'll just like have like a bunch
Yeah.
of MP3s on it instead. But it still works
I'm
out.
always like, I gotta like get a bunch of CDs out of the box in the basement and put them in the car, and I never do it. But
Yeah.
a lot of work.
I wanted to talk about some of the songs that you've done over the years. Wish I Were American. Do you still feel that way?
We never really did.
Yeah.
It was a combination of satirical.
I figured as much.
Yes. There's something about going to America for people from up here. It's great. Beers back then it was like 25 cents for a beer. And the highways are smooth and gas is cheap and there was that. But we always knew there was a lot of other problems happening in America and
The roads aren't smooth anymore.
Yeah, now it's out of control. And we're seeing it happening up here now. Alberta's getting a little weird. Ontario's gone nuts. They're firing all the teachers. And their newest budget, I think the words cheap beer and something else out was like something like 27 times in the new budget they mentioned cheap, affordable beer. And they only mentioned child poverty 0 times. So
Yeah.
there's been the shift to the where's my cut, what am I getting, that sort of thing is really dominating the political landscape, and it's people are allowed to hate, people are allowed to be grumpy, maybe not hate, but some do, but you know what I mean.
You got politicians down here that are above the law, so
Yeah, well, that's one thing. That's that I don't get that at all.
always look on the bright side of life.
Slippery. That guy's a slippery guy.
Every day I'm like, okay, this is it. We got him, right? We got him.
Yep. But I mean, we wrote some songs that are on Mighty that were all about George Bush, or I can't remember how. I mean, that's 2003. So yeah,
And back then I thought he was the worst. Ha ha.
Yeah, we thought he was the absolute worst. We thought he was the demon, and now I'm like, oh man.
Oh, he paints little pictures now. Oh, he's
Yeah, we have him back, but
no, because we might be in a war. I don't know, but
yep.
all right. So let's talk about a few more other songs. We already covered "Pee in the Elevator." I wanted to talk about that one because but we already talked about that. I liked My Exception. I always liked, the keyboards in that was just awesome. So I don't know.
We were going for the John Cusack, Grosse Pointe Blank kind of sentiment, say anything, sort of like like something that would be in one of those movies. It's not, but
Hey, John Cusack's a ska fan, so
that was inspired by his career and then also just me being in a basement and pining for this woman that became my wife that I didn't think I had a chance for, but she's my wife now. It worked. That song was good. So.
Nice. Do you think looking back, many people will be do you think looking back many years from now, people will remember you guys for Super Orgy Porno Party the best, or for the most the most popular song that you guys done?
In Canada, yes. In America, I don't know. In America, it's weird. Like you look at Spotify and Unstoppable, a song that we don't play is our biggest song
Really?
by far.
Oh.
And so we actually learned how to play it. We're going to play it for the first time in years. We're like, we probably should play it. I mean, it's not that bad. So we're going to play that song. And yeah, we're doing that. But yeah, Orgy and Surfing in Tofino, those two in Canada are our biggest songs up here. Blind is right behind it. That's from the next record. And that's one of my favorite songs we ever wrote.
I like Change. That's another good one from Attack, right? Yeah. That
was a cool one for us. I like that one.
And then Recollect was always one that put me in a good mood. Like, I don't know, it's like maybe this the way you sang it, and then just
it was a nice little tune. That was a song about going through an old photo box. That's really what it was. You pulled out the box, you're like,
no wonder why I like it.
yeah, oh, all these memories and anyway.
Explosive. So you got to work with Neville, so that was kind of cool.
It was amazing. I mean, like, we didn't meet him in studio. He did the video with us, which is such a bad video, and I think it cost.
I was gonna bring that up.
$40,000 for this horrible video. I mean,
that's a lot for.
We had a grant. The government was like, "You guys are gonna break it. You're gonna be big." They were wrong. Well, we did okay up here. I mean, we were big Canadian, but we did, whatever. They gave us a grant, so like, yeah, sure, we'll spend that money. And we flew him in. First thing he wanted was smoke. We were so stoned that whole time. But working with him was really cool. It was a fantastic moment in our career, I think. For me, being a big fan of the Specials when I was growing up, and thinking I would never play with them. That changed, of course, because they started playing again.
Yeah.
It was super cool. I was really into it. The song was a bit of a swing and a miss for me. It was we were going for something a little more aggressive, and it's close, but yeah, you look back at some songs that that I personally feel didn't quite meet the mark that we wanted. Whereas I was mentioning a song like "Blind" is a song where I didn't expect anything from it, and it's probably my favorite song we've ever written now.
Or Pee in the Elevator.
Well, there's another one. That one had. I remember I was like, "Hey, can I say piss in the elevator because it's a little tougher?" I'm like, "No, it's gonna be pee."
How about "You're in the elevator"?
You're making me yell. Oh, it's happening next show.
Do it.
Oh, I can't wait.
You have the about the explosive music video. The keyboard player in it was just so hamming it up, like dancing, and it was like so over the top. Though it was funny.
He never was in the band, never recorded on any song, and he's in 2 music videos. He plays keyboards in that one. He plays baritone sax in the video that came after that, which was quite a bit better. Was for ReadJunk.com. He was in a local ska band called Gangster Politics.
Okay.
But they didn't spell it with a Z. I think they should have. Gangster's Politics. But no, they just spelled it normally. And they were a thing up here for a little bit. And at the time, our saxophone player was like, "You guys got scabies. You're gross." We got scabies in some bar and grossed him out, so he quit. And we were like, "Oh man, that video, we need someone." Dave Balger at the time was like, "I'll do it." He also filled in on a couple front cover. There was newspapers back then. Front cover of newspapers. This guy who's never in the band. So yeah, he was having fun.
Yeah, that was always the highlight of it. Just seeing him do that.
There's dolphins in that one, man.
Yeah. Have you guys ever done any remastering of your albums?
I believe a couple of them got remastered for vinyl. So much, right? We've never remastered in the first one. What's the point? I mean, some I could say for some, it would probably help these days to rush them up and get them up to the digital format levels. And there's so many differences now with vinyl and CD and digital downloading and streaming. Everything's different. You need 4 masters now. Back in the day, we just needed 1.
Do you think greatest hits albums are kind of like a thing of the past now with Spotify and things like that?
It's kind of like a grab from the record label, the evil record label. A grab. They basically just compile a bunch of songs that are already out and it's been remastered, but really just limited it.
I mean, one way of working around it is you can redo the songs and then the ones that you like to do, and then do it that way. And that,
we talked about doing something like that. We have it's our 25th anniversary this year. It's also the 20th anniversary of Life the Party album, which was our biggest record up here. So we're going to end of the year for that, and we don't have the artwork for it anymore. We can't recreate that we just want to put it on vinyl. It's never done on vinyl. So we're going to have to sort of read something there, and there was talks about, well, maybe we should redo a couple songs and throw them on as bonus tracks. It might happen.
Cool.
We'll see.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, were you asked to be in the Pick It Up Ska in the 90s documentary at all?
We were, but I was lazy and I didn't. He was like, "Let's set up an interview." I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then I forgot. And then he was like, "Are we doing this?" I was like, "Yeah, we're doing this." And then it's not his fault. It's my fault.
Okay, because I was gonna say that was the one thing I think was missing was this
not his
Canadian
fault.
presence.
I messed it up. My fault. Let everybody know.
It's a good movie though.
He tried.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's too bad. I should have done it. I don't know. I was just distracted. I was probably working for some band on the label, probably the Creep Show or something. They needed documents sent to the government. I don't know. Something lame, something horrible. I had to fill in some tax forms, and I didn't do it. But hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. I mean, do you go on tour with other bands, or do you like manage them or anything like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't necessarily go on the road anymore. When they first started out, I do. I mean, we still manage Creep Show. It's been almost a decade. Real Mackenzie's closing in on a 8-year M. That's a whirlwind. They got a lot of personality in that band.
I still haven't seen.
We did Walk Off the Earth. We were doing Walk Off the Earth. I don't know if you know them. They had they did a cover of Gautier's Somebody That I Used to Know, and over the course of the weekend, it went from like 5 million views. I think now it's somewhere around 300 million, maybe 1 billion. I don't know. And they did really well. I mean, we had them on Ellen. We had we met Psy. Remember Psy? Gangnam Style.
Oh, okay, yes. Now I do.
Yeah. So we hung out with him.
Awesome.
Aoki, all those big cats were like running around, and we traveled with them for a while. But normally when it's with bands like Creep Show and Real Mackenzie's, they don't need us there. They know what they're doing. Live is a problem. It's the little nitty gritty stuff, because they're touring so much. They need someone to take care of their immigration. They need someone to take care of their tour schedules and things like that. And it's just they pretty much manage themselves.
Take care of the guest list, and don't forget the photographers on the guest list.
Yep, that's it. They'll be like, Matt did it. He screwed it up.
Yeah. Can I please have the tour manager's number so I can call?
There it is. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be going on tour soon. You're going playing in the States this weekend. You're playing with Planet Smashers. Not Mustard Plug and Chris Murray. Not you.
Chris Murray and the Plug.
Yeah.
We've probably played more shows with the Plug. That's probably the band we played the most shows with.
Yeah.
In the history of this band. Runner up would be like Big D, and then after that's probably AFI. We did 40 shows with AFI in 2001. It was really weird. Probably 50. It was weird.
Really? That's a weird combo.
It was just it was a time when you could put punk and or hardcore, whatever you want to call it, emo punk, hardcore. I don't know what you would call AFI.
I don't even know they were a goth punk, yeah.
And they were exploding back then. And anyway, long story short, we toured with them a lot. But so it's hanging out with Mustard Plug's like, it's great. But we just show up and like, I'll help you with that. You know everyone's names and it's cool. I'm really glad we're doing it. So we're just doing the 3 shows in the States, and then we do Pooza Fest Montreal. We're playing with Strung Out and Big D and the Kids Table. Mike Park's new band, Hippopotamus Station.
How do you pronounce it?
I don't know. I did it really quick. Did you see how fast I did it?
Because when I used to play music on the podcast, I used to I tried so many different ways of pronouncing. I'm like Okibo Station.
I don't know. I'm going right through it.
Yeah.
Alaska gets a direct hit. Some other cool bands too. Then we do that. Then we head across the country, Canada, in the country. So our first time out west in 5 years. We're going with K-Man the 45s, and we're doing about 10, 12 shows together. It'll be really fun. I'm excited. So doing festivals in the summer.
How do you say it? Pooza?
You take some poutine. Well, you take a pizza first. You need the base, and you take a little bit of poutine. You slap it on top.
I have not had poutine yet. Yeah.
You got it. You got Pooza. It's disgusting. It also is very hard to eat, and probably you're eating it because you're hammered.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Otherwise, why would you be eating something like that? And it goes all over the place. It's not a clean treat, but we try to make it, and it just captures. We had like cheap pizza up here for you, like 99 pizza all over the street. It was terrible pizza. It was like cardboard with a little bit of cheese, but you'd eat it late at night, man. Late at night, they heat it up, and you'd be like, it's amazing, and then you have the dough in your tongue. Anyway, that's where it came from. It was Hugo from the St. Catharines invented it. well, he invented the name.
Yeah.
And the festival kind of like spirit. It came from that DIY spirit. Hugo and his buddy Hélène created the festival, and now it's a lot of people involved. We're involved with it too.
Okay.
Which is, a lot of different people are in on it. So it's a weird festival. 180 bands.
So it's like Fest out in Florida though, right? So it's like a few different venues, I guess.
Yep, we're ripping off Fest pretty much. We just basically take it. We add some letters, and that's about it. It's a spirit of Fest. We're trying to do it. We're way smaller than Gainesville Fest. I mean, that thing's huge. But our outdoor shows are free. That's just something that it just kind of, we have a lot of craft beer. Everyone's doing that now. We've been doing it for a little bit too. And 6 bands, so many bands you've never heard of. It's great. I make friends with so many new people, and within a 3-day weekend, I A&R for, I'm good.
I need to get out there one of these days. Like my twin brother he's been to Montreal a few times to go see like the New York Red Bulls play on Montreal Impact, soccer. So maybe I should like try to trek up there one day and go to Montreal. I've been to Toronto, but I haven't been to Montreal. Yeah.
It's way better, and this festival's amazing. You should come up. I could probably get you like some kind of press pass.
I would hope so. I mean, I wouldn't go without one.
I might forget.
Yeah. No, it's like I don't go to shows if I don't get a press pass now. It's like I don't want to be a normie and like, sit in the crowd.
I'm such a snob too. I'm like, unless it's like a young band starting out or it's a small club door deal, I'm like, yeah, fine, and there's gonna be 40 people there, I'm paying. Yeah. But the big concerts, like, the big festivals, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get backstage or I'm not going. Such a dick.
I want brown M&Ms and.
Yeah, not quite, but
yeah,
it's real. I'm fragile now.
Yeah, we're older. I used to love Warped Tour because back then they used to give you like you were able to walk backstage. Now you don't do that. Back when Warped Tour was still like a full on fledged tour, but now then like eventually they stopped doing that. I'm like, oh man, now I gotta go from stage to stage, walking through the crowd. It's gonna take me a lot longer to do, but. All right, my last question is, when are you coming to New York? I know you guys got to sneak them in somehow.
Well, we're talking about, we have Andy. Andy subs for Dave. He's great. He's another man. He's played all of our American and Australian shows. Anyway, long story short, we're working on it. Dave from Covert. We're talking. He just sent me an email. Says, when are we doing this? Something with the Pittsburgh Ska Festival. Maybe sneaking on that at the last second.
Cool.
I don't think we'll be able to get on that, but there's talks about it. But we want to get down. We're going to be back in America in the end of the summer for a really big show in Chicago. At least I think it's a really big show.
Was it?
It'll be good. It hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, was it Riot Fest?
That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going up Riot Fest. Oh, dude,
well, that's what a surprise. Come on. I'm like, I don't know.
I love Riot Fest. I love those guys. Brendan Kelly. What a nice man.
Well, I mean, if you need help in finding a New York City club, I'm sure someone, I know some people at Live Nation, that Gramercy Theater, and like down there, I'm putting on a show in July, one of my first shows. I've got Cooley Ranks and all those guys doing like Radix Fest.
Really?
It's called. Yeah, so it's like doing Pilfers, Spring Hill Jack, Scoffleys, Hub City Stompers. It's
that's
like,
huge.
And it's on my birthday too, so it's like that's the main reason. And then Cooley took the ball with it and added more bands, so it's like 6 bands in one night. But it's going to be a great night.
That's July what?
July 19th. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's like wow. It's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so maybe the next show that I come up with, I will try to include you guys into it.
Oh, that'd be cool. We'd like to come down.
Yeah.
But I got to redo our immigration. What I'm saying is we'll get our immigration done for end of August for that Chicago show, and then hopefully have a bunch of other ones to do. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
cool.
Hopefully we'll be able to see you guys live soon because it's been a while. It's been 15, 16 years? I don't know.
That's terrible. You should come to Palooza.
When is it?
It's the weekend before Memorial Day weekend for you guys. It's a long weekend up here, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I mean, free shows. You got Big D, Smashers doing one with Strung Out in there, and Exposure Station. The first night, free show with Against Me, Bad Cop, pretty big. And then on Sunday, it's Andrew WK with Sub is support. It's a local heroes here. A bunch of other cool bands. Indoors, there's like Sam I Am, some old bands like Smoker Fire, Smoking Popes are playing. Pears, Nightbirds, all the cool bands. Pears, there's so many of them. Those awesome bands like that. Bad Cop, War on Women. I could go on forever. There's so many good bands playing.
Tempting. It's tempting.
It is such a fun festival. People are so nice. You just walk around. Everyone's happy because it's the first sort of summery weekend. Then again, it'll be like hell now that I said that.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be raining just all week and all summer. It seems like that every summer is this rain. But hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it's not the case.
No. So I'll see you and your wife at Pooza.
Yeah. I'll have to bring. Actually, I don't even think I can go. I don't have a passport.
Come on.
I once my son was born, and in like a couple years ago, I didn't renew it. So it's
2-year-old.
He's 3.5. So it's been a while.
Oh. Yeah, mine's about to turn 4. One of them.
Yeah.
That late 3 is pretty crazy.
We're doing the potty training stuff now, so it's like, all right.
Oh, get on. Well, it's a boy. That's why. It's a boy. You have a boy.
Yeah.
It's hard.
My mom's like, oh, girls are always quicker. And
yeah. They generally are, but the boys don't mind sitting in shit.
Yeah, it's like, you mind just like saying, hey, can I? No, I'll sit here.
It's all nice and warm. Anyway, but
it's like, yeah, you smell like
man,
piss right now.
thanks a lot for doing this.
Thanks for taking the time. Good luck with the tour, and hopefully I'll see you in New York sometime. If not, I will see you in Canada because that's the only one I'll be able to see you guys. But all right, good. Thanks for the talk.
Hey man, thanks a lot. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.